Brave men talk in whispers. Scared men, weak men, shout, scream. They're feminine. They're controlled by their emotions. So why does a brave man, why does a top 1% man, why is he talking whispers? Well, because he's not afraid to fight. Usually when you get into argument and you start screaming at one another, you start screaming, one, you're feminine. You're controlled by the emotion that you're feeling. You're in the moment too much. But a strong man, a brave man, doesn't do that. He's stoic. He controls his emotion. So he's not shouting. He still talks in a very masculine, quiet voice. And a Jeffrey, on the hand, is going to be screaming and shouting at you and calling you names. And it's just projection. That's all it is. It's just projection. Because back in the olden days, if you started arguing, if you had a disagreement about something, a lot of times you would get into a fight to settle it. You know? I don't agree with you. Well, I don't agree with you. Fight it out. Whoever wins is right. So a brave man is not scared of this. He's not going to initiate a fight because we become more civilized, but he will be ready to fight and he's not scared to. The Jeffrey, on the other hand, is going to be like screaming and projecting to try to scare you into not getting into a fight. Because then they know if they get into a fight, they're toast. They don't want to get into a fight. So they scream, they shout. Right? If I be loud and obnoxious, maybe he'll back up. Maybe I'll scare him this way. I think it's a misconception that these alpha guys are very loud. And I guess you could say that's somewhat true. Alphas or true men who are like the top dogs, they're not afraid to talk. And they will be loud when necessary. And they will have their voice heard. But for the most part, they don't need to shout. They don't need to be loud. They don't need to feel like they need to make their presence known. You know, maybe there's a couple of guys, or maybe there's one certain guy that you can think of right now that's an alpha guy, and he's loud and he's obnoxious. So you're thinking, what does this Hercules guys know? This guy's the alpha and he's very loud. Well, if that's the case, because I can think of two or three guys that are like this in my inner circle of people that I associate with, either through work, through school, through friendships, through family, whatever. And I'll tell you that they're not as alpha as you think if they are projecting like this. And that, well, I can't, if you're saying, well, Hercules, I can't think of one guy, one alpha dog that is quiet. Well, it's because alphas nowadays are rare. It's rare to find a true alpha man, a true top 1% man. That's why it's called 1% man, dummy. Out of 100, one is the best. You're going to find one. You know what I mean? So, if you want to get to that certain level of status, I can think of one man who I don't know too well, but he is very confident, he's very cool, he's very collected. He's not even the biggest guy at all. He's not that much bigger than me. But he is very calm, he's very cool, he's very confident. He does very well with the ladies. He's well respected by the other men. That's a true alpha. That's a top dog. Right? So, just again, remember, brave men talk in whispers. Cowards and Jeffries, they shout. Because they're emotionally unstable, they're not stoic, and they're afraid to get into a real fight if it should occur.